If your income stopped tomorrow, how long can you make it? I got laid off at 54, but I didn't panic because I had already stopped paying for the things most people think they can't live without. In this video, I'm sharing the 25 things that I refuse to pay for and how cutting them helped keep me afloat when the paycheck stopped. Some may seem obvious, some will surprise you, and at least one or two, well, you might just judge me for. I can take it. By the end of this video, you'll see exactly how this applies to you. You're probably paying for half of these and maybe without even realizing it. Hi, I'm Carrie, and this is Retired by Accident. Grab your coffee and let's break this down. Let's start with the obvious ones, the things that most frugality content covers, but I want to explain how I handle these things specifically. Number one is bottled water. My dad used to say, water is free, why would anyone pay for it? And he was right. At least here in the United States, tap water is almost universally safe to drink. I know it doesn't always taste amazing, but a filter will handle that for really not very much money. And honestly, if you just drink it, you eventually get used to the taste. I say that from experience. Water from the mountains in Washington or Colorado tastes much better to me than water in Florida or Indiana. But I drank all of it, and eventually you just get used to it. We have well water where I'm at now, and I'm really lucky because it is incredible, frankly. But before that, I wasn't buying bottled either. Number two is pre-cut fruits and vegetables. I own a knife. I bet you do too. I get why people buy these. It's easier, but you're paying a huge markup for someone to do about 30 seconds of work. And half the time the pre-cut packages go bad faster anyway, so that's even more waste. All right, number three, coffee shop coffee. I make my coffee at home and it costs almost nothing per cup. And honestly, I like it better. I get to control exactly what goes into it, so there's no weird syrups, no weird prices either. And look, if fancy coffee is your treat, I'm not judging, mostly. But if it's a daily habit that you're not even thinking about, that's probably $4 or $5 a day you're just handing over without really getting much back. Number four is brand name anything. I mean, medications, condiments, canned goods, cleaning products. Most of the time, realistically, almost all of the time, the store brand is literally the same product in a different package. You are paying for the logo on the outside, and that's it. There are a few things where I notice a difference and I will splurge, but those are rare exceptions. And in fact, the only one that I can think of is pickles. I am quite partial to Vlasic zesty dills. And in fact, my mouth is watering just saying it. I'll try not to slobber all over myself here though, but I do love those pickles. Okay, these next ones are where I think people hemorrhage money without even realizing it. So number five is streaming services. I do a maximum of one at a time. I watch everything I want on it, and then I cancel within the month and move on. Most of the time I go with no streaming services at all and just watch YouTube or Rumble or both. Honestly, there's so much free content that I seriously never feel like I'm missing out. And if you haven't already, check out your library. There's lots of free stuff online there. Number six, along the same vein, cable TV. I cut that cord a decade ago and never looked back. It's actually not even available where I live now, but even if it was, I wouldn't. YouTube fills most of that gap for absolutely free. Number seven is cloud storage. The cloud is literally just someone else's computer. That's it. Why would I pay someone else to hold my data when I can buy an external hard drive once and store it myself? I have a drive. It wasn't even expensive. My stuff is on it. Done. Number eight is smart home stuff. I used to have an Alexa and I got rid of it. I don't need everything in my house connected to the internet. I don't want a device listening all the time, and I definitely don't want to pay a monthly subscription fee to see who's at my front door. I want as much dumb stuff in my house as possible. A doorbell that just rings, a security camera that records locally, and a refrigerator that isn't judging me every time I open it to look inside. That's it. You know, one of my brothers has a smart bed and a smart bidet. It's crazy. Would you want your toilet connected to the internet? Drop me a comment below and tell me what you think of all this smart home stuff. All right. Number nine, the newest tech. My phone is an older model and I bought it refurbished, not even new. I'd show it to you, but it's recording this. But it does everything I need it to, and nobody can tell the difference just looking at it. I paid cash for it, no financing, no rolling it into a sell plan where the cost is hidden. And if it breaks, I'll get another inexpensive one. Definitely no warranty on it either. Okay, this next section might get me a little bit of pushback, but hear me out. Number 10 is detox teas and cleanses, really anything labeled detox, actually. Your liver does that. That is literally your liver's job. You do not need a $40 tea to cleanse your body. Your body already has a built in system for that, and it's been working just fine your entire life. Number 11 is trendy supplements. There is always a new one that my girlfriends are raving about, some powder or gummy or miracle capsule that's supposed to fix everything. Usually it's weight related. Most of it is either unnecessary or it's not doing what people think it's doing. Frankly, almost all of this stuff does nothing other than give you really expensive pee. And I am not posh enough to care about having expensive urine. Number 12, salon treatments. When I colored my hair, I did it myself at home for about $5. I don't pay to get my eyebrows waxed or my nails done or get eyelash extensions or fillers. And you know what? I get compliments on my nails all the time. Though I don't know that I can take credit. It's really just genetic. I got nothing against any of those things, but I also don't feel like anything's wrong with just what nature gave me. And I'm happy to age naturally, at least at this point in my life. I do pay to get my hair cut 3 or 4 times a year. A longer hairstyle allows for that. And my husband gets his hair cut more often because of his shorter style. I've actually thought about learning to cut his hair myself, honestly, but I'm just not sure I could do him justice. So we're just going to keep paying for that one. All right, number 13 is gym memberships. Both Jeff and I work out at home. I bought a used Total Gym from Facebook Marketplace a few years ago for $100, and I love it. Jeff has a secondhand weight set, and then there's plenty of outside stuff, walking, hiking, swimming, yard work. Yard work counts. Number 14 is scented anything. Perfume, scented candles, those plug-in air fresheners. Those are gross, by the way. I saw someone once ask how people keep their house smelling clean, and all of the answers were chemical products, sprays, diffusers, plug-ins, and I was legitimately confused. I keep my house smelling clean by cleaning it and then opening the windows when the weather's nice. That's it. That's the whole trick. How on earth did marketing con us into using these things? I just don't get it. And even if I do like a scent, that doesn't mean the person standing next to me in the elevator is going to like it. I've been that other person on the elevator, and I can tell you, they do not appreciate your cologne. All right, these next ones are just non-negotiable for me. Number 15 is banks with fees. I won't use any account that has fees, period. My checking account is with a credit union. It's interest bearing and there are no fees. And here's the one that gets some people. I don't even have ATM fees. And I mean anywhere. If I use an ATM from another bank and they charge me a fee, my credit union reimburses it automatically. I don't have to call anyone or fight about it. It just shows up back in my bank account. And then separately, my emergency fund, my cash savings, that lives in a high yield savings account. Not a regular savings account, a high yield one. If you have any significant amount of money, cash just sitting in a traditional savings account right now, earning basically nothing, it's worth looking into a high yield account today, like today. The difference in interest can be hundreds of dollars a year just for moving money you already have. You're not doing anything differently. Your money is just actually working while it sits there. Banks are already making money off your deposits. There's no reason to hand them extra fees just for the privilege. Number 16 is credit card interest. I pay the full balance off every single month. I am so serious about this that I actually pay it off twice a month just to make sure I never accidentally miss a deadline and end up with interest. I would be ashamed to show my face if that happened. Okay, number 17 is credit cards with annual fees. I have never found a card where the annual fee was worth more than it cost to me. If someone wants to show me that math, I'm listening, but I haven't been convinced yet. Number 18 is extended warranties. These are really just profit machines. That's it. The companies selling them would not sell them if they weren't making money on them, and they make a lot of money on them, which tells you everything you should need to know about whether or not they're in your best interest. But here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. Your credit card might already cover this. A lot of credit cards, not all of them, but a lot of them include automatic warranty protection on purchases you make with the card. So if you buy an appliance or an electronic or whatever, and you paid for it with the right credit card, you may already have an extended warranty sitting there that you didn't even realize you had. If you're not sure about your credit card, go look it up right now while you're thinking about it. You can Google your card name and the words benefit guide or warranty protection. Read what it says. I bet some of you watching this are going to find coverage you already have and didn't even know about. All right, number 19 is financial advisor fees. I manage the household investments myself. I use a discount brokerage and primarily no load index funds. I am not a financial expert, and this is not financial advice. Why do I feel a need to specify that? But I don't feel that management fees are worth it in my situation. Okay, I know this next one is going to ruffle some feathers. Number 20 is pet insurance. I love our animals. I do, but pets are not children. When our dog needs the vet, we pay for it, but if he needed a $10,000 treatment, we would let nature take its course. Might sound harsh, but it's honest. He's not people, regardless of what he might try to tell you. For the chickens, I love them, but I am not calling a vet for a chicken. If I can't handle it myself, nature can do the job. Number 21 is pet grooming. I am not paying for something I can do myself. I've got hands and a brush and a nail clipper. We're fine. Number 22 is meal delivery kits. It's cheaper than a restaurant, but it's much more expensive than doing your own shopping and cooking, so that is not for us. I will admit, though, that I have gone to the websites for those services and used some of their recipes. Some of them post them publicly, so I figure it's fair game. Is it cheating? I don't know. I'll sleep on it. Number 23 is new cars. I'm going to let someone else take that depreciation hit. A new car is only new for a very short time, and then it's just a car. I buy used and I pay cash. Number 24 is premium gas. My car does not need premium gas. In fact, I'm pretty sure the manual specifically says it doesn't. I didn't look it up though. And yet people will stand there at the pump and just press the more expensive button. If your car doesn't require it, you're literally paying for no reason. And number 25, that's movie theaters. I would much rather watch at home anyway on my comfortable couch where I can pause it and go to the bathroom when the drink hits my bladder. I can wait a few months for it to show up somewhere where I can stream it. And frankly, the snacks are cheaper too. So there you have it, the 20 things that I'm not paying for. None of this has ever felt like deprivation to me. It's just common sense. But I want to be honest, these habits alone aren't what kept me afloat when the layoff hit. The bigger reason is that we had no debt, no mortgage, no car payment, no credit card balances, nothing. And every single thing on this list played a role in getting us to debt free. Every dollar saved was a faster path to a paid off mortgage and then a path to a stronger savings account. So give it a try. Pick one thing, try going a month without it and see if you miss it. Then throw the savings at whatever you owe. My guess is you won't miss it, but you will notice a difference in your account balances. Drop a comment below. What's one thing that you refuse to pay for that other people think is necessary? I read every single one. If this resonated with you, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for being here. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.